want to do is use some. I want to use this. I want to use this little thing here to explain something. And this is the way of enlightenment, and it's also the way of clearing as a goal, not as being open to clearing right now, but the idea of God, I've just got to get clearer than this, or anything like that. So in math, those of you who know more than I do know that there is something called an asymptote. And this asymptote is something that this graph here shows it, where it's something that comes down and it moves closer and closer to the goal. Closer, 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 but it never gets it. It goes this line, this red line that you see here. Is it red? Yeah, I think it is. This red line is actually representative of infinity. So what we do is we get closer and closer and closer and closer. But one of the Greeks, I can't remember his name right now, but at any rate, one of the Greek philosophers had a thing where you could never get to something, because in order to get to it, you had to get to halfway there. And so you would start out and you would get halfway there, and then you would need to go half of that half, and then you'd have to go half of that half. You could never really fully get there. Same thing with this, is that when we're looking at enlightenment as a goal, something out there that we're going to get to, and we may have the feeling like I'm really right there. I'm just right at it. I know I am. That it can be very true, but you can get caught in this, which is this situation where you just get closer and closer and closer and closer and never actually connect. I've had that happen, and that usually will happen with people who have the idea that when is enlightenment going to occur? Really soon, but not right now. Not right now. I'm going to be able to accept as is soon, but not this as it is, right? Not this what is, but a very similar what is that's bound to be along at any time, but it's not here now. And it's the relaxing of all of these objections to right now. Well, it's just not the right time. I don't have the right energy. I need to read a certain book first. I need to talk to a teacher first. I need to do some practices for a very long time, or maybe I've already done them for a long time, and it won't take much longer. But all these indeterminate times, they are just like the asymptote. You can get closer and closer and closer and closer without ever getting it. In the case of enlightenment, you can actually dip down from this red line, this seeking line, and you can dip down and actually touch upon the line of enlightenment, and then flip right back up, back into seeking. And that is going to arise from exactly the same problem, which is that this isn't it. I mean, the this that I remember, or the this I was looking forward to, and you can neither look forward to nor remember the state of enlightenment. So those are all false marks for us to judge where our distance from. But this is, I can feel it, that I've almost got it. I can see it's just right here. It's going to be, might be tomorrow. Really might be tomorrow. I just have a feeling it might be. And on and on and on and on. And you can invent a million of these things. And and you can believe a million of them too. Because astonishingly enough, that is a farce that we may never, ever wake up to. We may tell ourselves every day, man, I'm clearer than ever. And I'm going to be really awake soon. But awake soon, when we're blessed, we'll get this thing, we can get this thing spontaneously. I more or less did. in the sense that I didn't have a physical teacher at the time, but of course, for many, many years, I had been deeply soaked in the non-dual teachings and Zen teachings prior to that, which are non-dual as well. So it was it just can't be this. Because here's what's wrong with this. I have a running argument with what is. And that's what we do. Because we spend almost no time in what is. We spend all of our time in what we think about what is. And do I approve of this or do I not? Most of the time it's going to be, just can't approve of this. It's just not, it's not what I was promised. It's not what I thought. It's not what I dreamed. Because everything's fine except for the fact, that there is injustice in the world. And as long as there's injustice in the world, I don't believe I can really wake up. Well, you can't, as long as there's injustice in the world. If you pre-decide that, you can limit your own. You can forestall your own awakening indefinitely, meaning forever, by just simply believing that it's going to be something other than this. There is nothing other than this. It can't be this simple, yet it is. And that's the problem, is that it's this simple. And it's not that it's hard to grab hold of. It's the fact that you can't grab hold of it because you're already it. So this story of I'm going to grab it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to be able to talk to people about it and all this. And when we go to talk to people about the infinite, what we're using, and about non-dual, and what we're doing is we're using dualistic language to try to just to tell about that which is non-dual. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You can't draw a picture of it because it's not like that. So we're limited to talking about what we, noticing what we don't see, noticing it by its negatives. And by which I mean it's not this and it's not that, the old traditional. But our traditional can be sudden. We don't have to do years and years of japa or anything else. We can simply notice that I can't find anything else. I find, and when I really, really look, I find this. I don't know what this is. So how can I possibly expect more of it? I'm thinking that the present awakeness, the present light of the world is not bright enough. It's not elite enough. This elite thing is really trips us up because we don't mean to. We don't, and there's this strong yin to be different, to be above, to be better than. And if I'm seeing things more clearly than you are, well, that says a lot about me. It just says how it's pointing to the special nature of me and the ordinary nature of you, of course. And because special can't exist without an ordinary, they're opposites. So there's nothing special. A really good teacher called Nirmala had a book called Nothing Special. And he was talking about this. Nothing special. He's a very nice guy and very awake. And was or has been for a long time. I haven't talked to him in years and years, but he knew what he was talking about, that there's nothing special. Except for the whole thing. This whole thing has a specialness to it that other things don't share. It's because there's no other things that can outshine it. But I keep inventing other things that are better than this. My constant argument with the world. So today I'm just going to suggest let's drop our arguments and with what is. Let's relax into what is, because this is exactly as it's supposed to be. There's nothing wrong. And it may not feel like it's supposed to be. Clearly, over here, it doesn't feel like this is supposed the way it's supposed to be. But that's really just for Fred. It's the way it's supposed to be, and the imaginary character of Fred is paid attention only in the regard to noticing that it's imaginary, and therefore we don't need to worry about its vote.